This screencast has to do with the theory of Erik Erikson. And Erik Erikson's developmental theory, it was a social, put a lot of emphasis on social or environmental factors, in particular, throughout a person's entire lifetime, and things that affect a person's personality and how they kind of evolve into a total human being as they go through these various stages. So let's take a look. He had 8 stages of psychosocial development. And again, whenever you see that psychosocial, I want you to think of environment. Each one of these stages centers on some type of conflict that children must kind of deal with. Now, the first stage, usually the first year, maybe year and a half, consists of what Erikson calls trust versus mistrust. The idea here is that when children are born, okay, they obviously they cannot take care of themselves. They need assistance. They need somebody to care for them. And if parents provide a safe, consistent, loving environment for their children, well, then this develops into a healthy and strong trust that those children can have toward other people in the future. On the other hand, if their environment is very inconsistent or cold or abusive, well, then children are going to learn that they really can't trust other people to help them out. And so the key here is that Erikson believes that these feelings, these deep down feelings, are going to carry with us for the rest of our lives. And that's how we're going to deal with other people, whether it be family, friends, people we just meet, whoever. We're going to have that basic either trust or mistrust. Now, the second stage, usually consisting of the second and third years of life, this is kind of the terrible twos time period. And kids all the time in that 2 to 3 year time period, they're trying to do everything on their own. But by doing that, they're like a catastrophe waiting to happen. So things that they're moving around, they're either spilling something, they're falling down, they're getting wet or causing other things to get wet. It just seems like there's all kinds of accidents. And toilet training's another thing here, where they're trying to learn to control their body. These are tough times for infants, and parents who have the patience and the ability to kind of encourage their kids through this to develop new skills, basically to develop autonomy. The idea that that it's okay for kids to learn to do things on their own and to kind of take control. That's a good thing for kids versus always feeling like they're in trouble or they're ashamed of what they're doing, constantly doubting that they should even be able to, or that they should even act out on their own. Third stage, initiative versus guilt, basically ages 3 to 5. This is where children need to learn to make plans, to be able to carry out tasks, whether it be through play or through asking questions. The word why is a big question for a 3 and a 4-year-old. And so parents need to kind of encourage kids to use their imaginations and to develop initiative. One thing that parents could do would be, for example, to allow their children to plan, let's say, a family outing. Saturday morning's going to be family time from 10 o'clock until noon, and allow the children to kind of plan what they're going to do, what the family's going to do. So let's say that the kids want to go to the park. So then talk about what do they want to do at the park. Jot these things down so that they can make a plan. You might even allow them to come up with like a list of snacks or things that they could take with them, things that they might need while they're at the park. And this, again, just gives the kids the ability and the confidence to make those plans and to initiate things on their own. Stage 4, industry versus inferiority. This is the first time that kids, they basically hit school, and they're hopefully being positively reinforced, but they're definitely being evaluated by other people, whether it be teachers, other classmates, and they're trying to accomplish a variety of things. So they're trying to be industrious, essentially. And they need to be positively reinforced for their activities, such as things that they achieve in the classroom. If they're able to accomplish what they need to do, or if they do something on the sports field, or artistically, or musically, they need to develop a healthy self-concept, and kind of a good sense of being able to produce things. If kids are constantly being told that they're not good enough, or that they're not measuring up, well, then that can definitely lead to feelings of inferiority. Stage 5 is the identity versus role confusion. And if you notice, this is the time period that most of you are in that teenage time period. And during this time period, people really have to kind of determine who they are. You have to kind of stand up for what you believe a lot of times. Your peers may be pressing you to do one type of behavior, but maybe you don't believe in that, and so you have to be able to understand, who are you? Are you going to be able to stand up for who you want to be, and are you going to be able to build kind of a consistent identity? And a lot of times teens kind of fail to do that, and that can lead to role confusion and uncertainty as far as who they are right now and what they may want to do in the future. So we kind of refer to that as an identity crisis. Stage 6, young adulthood, basically. We talk about intimacy versus isolation. This is where people really start to develop a lot of deep care and concern, or even love for other people around them. They share meaningful experiences with them. They may choose a life partner, but they develop intimacy with some particular person. They may start their family and so on. And without intimacy, people feel alone, they feel uncared for in life, and they can definitely feel isolated. Stage 7, generativity versus stagnation. This is middle adulthood, and this is the time period where adults need to kind of express their caring about the next generation. They're kind of mentoring their kids. They're trying to do things for other people. At the same time, they're trying to produce creative work on their own, and be productive in their own jobs and things of that nature. So people who fail to achieve generativity can become very stagnant and preoccupied with their own needs and comforts. But at this time period, it's good to be able to look out and to help others. And the last stage, stage 8, late adulthood, and this is where basically the crisis at this stage is integrity versus despair. And it's where the time period where older adults tend to look back in their lives to see if they're satisfied with what they've done, if they feel that they've done well in their lives, if they can take pride in what they've done, or do they have a lot of regrets, and do they have despair? Now, this is, like I say, the 8 stages of Erikson. What was Erikson's big contribution? Basically, he emphasized the environment and that perspective, that influence on personality. That was the biggie there. He also suggests that our personalities continue to evolve and develop throughout our entire lifetime. Now, this was different than a lot of other theorists, especially somebody like Freud. Freud believed that basically by about age 6, your personality was finished. It was done. And you were going to have that personality for the rest of your life. Erikson is one of the guys that came along and really suggested a lot of variables that occur throughout our lifetime that can influence us and can change the way that we see ourselves and the way that we deal with others.